Hey kids, History Channel guy here. So, Christmas has come and gone, and still we don't have an oversimplified updated video. In today's quick history, I'm going to be talking about an update for Oversimplified's next video. But before I do, over 95% of you are not subscribed to the channel, so if you could like and subscribe, that would be excellent because it gives me a lot more motivation to make these oversimplified updated videos. Okay, so last time we saw Oversimplified, obviously he made the Punic Wars video. But he's had some community activities since then. The first community activity I'm going to go over is him trying to sell the bucket plush toy, which is honestly hilarious, and I almost bought one if I'm being completely frank. But that was 4 weeks ago. Simultaneously, Oversimplified also gave an update on a fundraiser he's doing for cancer research, I believe. And that was about 2 weeks ago. So he's been active on the channel, so we know that he is up to something, and it's not going to be like last time where we didn't hear from him for months. But at the same time, he kind of implied that his next video would be out sooner. Let's check it out. So if you look here, you can kind of see that the Punic Wars videos are not doing as well as his previous videos. So 9 million views is less than half of what he's received on his other videos, including videos like the Pig Wars, which is sitting at 22 million. But it's also far less than his Prohibition and his Napoleonic Wars videos, which I think the community can agree are his best stuff. So I'm starting to think that Oversimplified might be rethinking the whole Punic Wars thing, because if he was going to do the Punic Wars, then I think it already would have been out by now, considering that he released the first Punic Wars in September, and a second Punic Wars would almost jump right into it, especially because he hinted at Hannibal and all of that stuff. But perhaps he realizes that the audience just isn't really there for the Punic Wars, and therefore he needs to stick to his roots, which has been more modernistic wars, and maybe even sticking more into U.S. history. That being said, do I think Oversimplified is still going to do the second Punic Wars video as his next video? I am 80% sure that he will. Where does that 80% number come from? Well, it's kind of arbitrary, but it's just more of a gut feeling. However, I do think there's still a possibility that he either does a biography in the next one. Perhaps the biography is about Hannibal, and that's where the second Punic Wars is going to be, or he does a biography about a notable American figure, such as Andrew Jackson, George Armstrong Custer, someone like that he could get a lot of content from. But I also think that something like the Vietnam War or Korean War, and possibly probably the War of 1812, but that's less likely. But definitely Vietnam War, Korean War are definitely still up in the air, considering that he has the character pins already made out for it. But simultaneously, I think he knows that he would get insane viewership numbers if he were to release a Vietnam War video. Everyone in the Oversimplified community has been craving for it Oversimplified Vietnam, and he has hinted it. Just look at the previous evidence that you saw in the Pig Wars. He literally made a map of Vietnam, which I've shown in my previous videos. Remember to like and subscribe. But I think Vietnam War would be a slam dunk for Oversimplified. It'd help get his viewership numbers up, and it would also basically allow him to do the unorthodox things like the Punic Wars. Because, as you might know, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Punic Wars because I think he relied too much on toilet humor and stuff on... It just wasn't as fun as something like the Napoleonic Wars or the Civil War, which I think are Oversimplified's best work. I don't know, just my opinion, but I would, if I was Oversimplified, I would strongly think about not doing a second Punic Wars as my next video, just because of how poor the views on the last one is. And everyone needs to think about this. So the way that YouTube's viewership money goes is, and I'm very close to it, I'm literally 25 subscribers away from being able to monetize the channel after 2 years of work. However, the way it works is that you basically make like 5 $3 to $5 per thousand views. Meaning, Oversimplified is literally losing thousands of dollars because the Punic Wars isn't doing as well. How do you recoup some of that money? Well, you give the fans something that they've all wanted, and something that's not as obscure as the Pig Wars and the Punic Wars. Just a thought. But what do you guys think? Do you think Oversimplified is still doing the Punic Wars? Do you think he is going to release by New Year's? I highly doubt by New Year's, but I think Valentine's Day is my guess. Sometime around February, I think he'll release again. I could be wrong. I've been wrong about this stuff before, as you guys love to tell me, but that's it, y'all. Remember to like and subscribe, and thank you for your time, as always.